Pathwaysoflight.org. Welcome to the reading, A Course in Miracles Workbook Lesson 184, Insights. The name of God is my inheritance. Names are how we identify things. So when I affirm the name of God is my inheritance, I am affirming God's identity is mine. I share His identity and all His attributes. The identity of God is my inheritance. This identity seems very different than the identity I have been accustomed to thinking is me. I am not the body with a name people call it. I am not the body's behavior or its collection of experiences during its life. My body's family history has nothing to do with my identity. My true identity I share with God. This identity is my own. It is the acceptance of my inheritance, my true identity that frees me from all the limits of identifying myself as a separate entity with a separate mind that thinks private thoughts. My identity is love because God is love, and I have inherited His identity. When I think or act without love, it is only because I have mistaken my identity. I believe I am separate and alone. It is only in believing this that I could imagine I am without love, unloving, or unlovable. It is this mistaken belief that needs correcting. As I focus on the idea that the identity of God is my inheritance, it begins to gradually dissolve this mistaken belief. At first, it seems nothing is happening, but with continued diligence and practice, this hardened belief begins to soften around the edges. What seemed unquestionable starts being raised to doubt. The certainty of the belief weakens and my mind begins to open to the possibility of another vision, another perception. Now the door begins to open to the recognition of my true identity. I am profoundly grateful for these lessons, which are opening the way for me to see my unity with all my brothers in the unity of God, in the unity of love. The part of the lesson that stands out to me the most is, and yet His name becomes the final lesson that all things are one, and at this lesson does all learning end. So now my job is to learn the lesson of oneness, to learn all names are unified. My job now is to see past the separate names to the one name of God that is everyone's true identity. Applying this lesson seems very difficult at times, and the ego would tell me to give up trying because it is impossible. The Holy Spirit tells me this is the only meaningful lesson for me to learn, and no one can fail who truly seeks to return to the oneness of God. The oneness of God lies beyond all the false images of separate bodies. God's oneness is the only thing that is true. The way to learn this lesson that is helpful for me is to keep a close connection with the Holy Spirit all through the day. I ask, what is my level of peace? What is my level of joy? These are the effects of my connection with Holy Spirit. If I am not feeling peace, then it becomes a signal for me to return to peace, which comes from the Holy Spirit in my mind. The Holy Spirit will help me see past separate bodies and find the one name of God behind all the illusions of separation. The Holy Spirit brings my mind to truth and reminds me illusions are not real. They are simply illusions of separation and nothing more. The Holy Spirit reminds me not to give them meaning. As I remove the meaning I have given these symbols of separation, the one identity that lies behind them comes more clearly into focus. At this stage, this lesson from the Holy Spirit takes diligence and much practice. Many times I forget and make illusions real again. Then I lose my sense of peace, joy, and inner happiness. This becomes a signal again to return to the lessons the Holy Spirit has to teach me, the lesson of oneness. This one lesson is all I need to receive. This one lesson is all I need to give. We are all one identity. We have only one name, and that is the name of our Father. Applying this lesson does indeed seem difficult. I can't give up trying because then where would that leave me? There is no other place to go, is there? I have been thinking today how hard I have resisted these lessons. The resistance has been going on for a long time. It is not nearly as strong as it used to be, so I can definitely see progress. But I still resist. I think my resistance is the only thing impeding my progress. I believe the Course is a perfect and certain way out of the world that I have made. I think being free of this illusion is the only thing worth striving for. And still I resist. It is hard to fathom. pathwaysoflight.org